Hi, I'm Joe, and it was recently announced that they're making a sequel to It's a Wonderful Life. Okay, I guess I have to do it. This is what the average consumer thinks of sequels.
Shark still looks fake.
It's about time a Back to the Future clip made its way in there. Anyway, the first type of sequels I don't want to see anymore are those action movies that were ruined by CGI or the lead actors getting too old. You know, the ones that are usually sequels to movies that came out in the 70s or 80s. You know, like Indiana Jones. Seriously, all you had to do was put Harrison Ford in the outfit, get the John Williams music going, have him do a bunch of stunts, not in front of a green screen, but live on set, and then in the end, he finds a historic relic. You couldn't do that? And then Die Hard, all you had to do, give Bruce Willis a gun, put him in a single location for the whole movie, have him shoot a bunch of cool people, looking good doing it, have him say some funny catchphrases, and then he shoots the bad guy in the end. You failed at doing that twice! Okay, so then Rambo. Is there anything left for Rambo to do that he hasn't done already? And speaking of Sylvester Stallone, enough with Rocky. Okay, you already did the whole I'm too old for this. Okay, there's nothing left for you to do. And speaking of too old, no more Lethal Weapons. Okay, Danny Glover was too old for this shit back in 1987. I think he's way too old 4 movies later. And speaking of things getting old, no more Beverly Hills Cop movies, okay? Eddie Murphy's gimmick is played out. And you can thank Martin Lawrence for that. And another type of sequel I don't want to see anymore are the ones where there's so many of them they forget the premise of the original. And I want to call these, what's the premise again? So okay, Austin Powers. He's a hippie from the 60s who gets frozen and thawed out in the 90s. Okay, and he's like, oh, this 90s is a weird place. Okay, that's cool. So then you take him from the 90s and you put him in the 60s, where he's not used to stuff. Kind of like a Back to the Future type thing. Okay. So then you take him from 2003, and then you put him in the 70s, and Dr. Evil, who's usually stiff, is now dancing around a lot, and what's the premise again? And finally, just to let you know that I'm not totally against sequels, there are sequels I really do want. Like Bill and Ted 3. The writers want to do it, and it sounds like they have a good idea. The actors want to do it. The audience is drooling for it. So what jagoff in the middle is holding this up? So, that's what the average consumer thinks of sequels. For now.